Right now, new at noon, brand new security camera video of a deadly hit and run in this Coney parking lot on Detroit's west side.
But first, take a look at the radar right now. Brandon is tracking some trouble on 4 Live radar. Skies look just fine off to the downtown area, but to the north and west on radar, you can see there is some strong storms moving across Lake Michigan. But will they impact us here at home? The weather does top our news this noon. As you can see, there is some activity headed over the Wisconsin area into northern parts of Michigan. But Brandon, for us, we just feel the muggies. So is it coming our way?
Steamy to stormy. Yes, to answer your question quickly, yes. The Storm Prediction Center has upgraded our severe threat. We were in a marginal risk as of earlier this morning, but now in a slight risk, which again just tells us that there are better odds, more likely conditions for a bigger handful of storms to potentially hit that severe threat. Temperatures, certainly part of the business here. We're mainly in the middle 80s out there, with some areas north in the lower 80s, but you factor in the humidity and look at this, we're already seeing heat indices 90 plus in Ann Arbor. Monroe feels like 92. Metro feels like 89, right there in those 90s. So number one, make sure we're hydrated, paying attention. You've got the local forecasters app in your hip pocket because it's your greatest weapon against becoming a victim of severe weather. After 2 o'clock, especially today, eyes to the skies. It is bubbling up, heating up, and a good chance for some of these showers and storms around it. Look at some of those monsters blowing up on the computer model. We'll keep an eye on it, give you another update coming up shortly.
All right, Brandon, thank you. Meanwhile, we do want to get you to breaking news from Detroit's east side this noon. We are learning that a man has been shot and injured along Algonac Street. This is the area of 7 Mile and Hoover. And we're looking at brand new video from the scene where police say the victim's wife witnessed the shooting and returned fire on the suspects. The search continues for those responsible. The other breaking news we're following is down south in Tallahassee, Florida, where police are investigating a stabbing incident. Many details are still unclear, but what is clear so far is that it happened at Dyke Industries, which is a company that manufactures doors. Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare has received 6 patients from the stabbing. Their conditions are not known at this time. Police say that they have a suspect in custody, though, but right now it's not immediately clear if that suspect is an employee or not. But we will continue to follow this and keep you updated both here and on clickondetroit.com. We're also learning more about a deadly hit and run in the parking lot of a Detroit business, and police believe that the victim was run over on purpose. It happened at the Coney Island restaurant, 8 Mile Grill Coney Island on 8 Mile near Green Lawn. Sean Lay is there on the scene. And Sean, it sounds like this may have started with some kind of argument inside of that restaurant.
And we just saw security camera footage that we will share with you. The sum of the security camera footage that we can share with you, it just turns your stomach, what we just witnessed on that video. But you're right, these two guys had words inside. The suspected killer comes out to his van. He just waits for his victim to exit the Coney Island, and then he hits the gas. Local 4 is learning at this noon hour that this was a cold-blooded ambush. 2 men here inside the 8 Mile Grill Coney Island on 8 Mile near Livernois. They ordered food, and while they were waiting, we're told the 2 men exchanged words over a woman. The suspect got his food, went to his truck in the parking lot, and waited. We're told the victim, a 58-year-old man who lives nearby, then walked out with his order. And that man, waiting for him, hit the gas of his truck and ran the victim down, killing him. David Lampkin knows that victim and says he's a regular here.
But like I said, he's a good customer. I know the mother, and she shouldn't have to lose her son to something terrible like this.
Live, take a look at your screen. Here's the security camera footage that we just got our hands on here. You can clearly see that truck. Homicide investigators believe it's a 2015 to 2017 Ford, or it may be a Chevy. It is burgundy in color, and we stopped the video before that man is run down. He's 58 years old, lives right in the neighborhood, so he was simply walking home with his food. One more thing we're learning from sources, Rhonda, the suspect here is 6'4", 375 pounds, and he has a beard. He may stand out to someone. Someone may know who that is right away. Police would like to hear from them. Live on the west side, Sean Lay, Local 4.
Once more, families gathered at Ground Zero, where nearly 3,000 people died on a bright September morning in 2001. Once more, there was an outpouring of grief. Once more, there was the sound of a bell tolling in mourning. And there was the rhythm of names being recited.
John Valentine Niven.
Catherine McGarry Nowak.
Curtis Terrence Noel.
Today marks 18 years since terrorists commandeered airplanes and the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center were brought down. 18 years since United Airlines Flight 93 crashed into a field after brave passengers overpowered terrorists. And 18 years since American Airlines Flight 77 struck the Pentagon and killed 184 people. Next at noon, a look inside these sacred ceremonies of remembrance. The nation pauses today to remember the lives lost on September 11th of 2001 in those terrorist attacks. You are looking at video from several of the remembrance events that are taking place today. You can see the American flag hanging over the side of the Pentagon. Folks in New York City observing a moment of silence to honor the victims earlier this morning, and the Flight 93 Memorial in Pennsylvania. Meantime, we are also looking at live pictures now from New York City of the annual commemoration ceremony for family members of the victims of the 2001 World Trade Center attack, as well as the 1993 World Trade Center attack. Family members of those killed are marking the 18th anniversary of the attacks with ceremonies both here at Ground Zero, as well as ceremonies at the Pentagon and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Let's get to Chris Pallone with more.
It has now been 18 years since terrorists carried out the deadliest attack on U.S. soil. And in cities across America, people are pausing to remember the nearly 3,000 people killed on that day. As usual, the major events taking place in the cities most affected, in New York City, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where Flight 93 went down, and at the Pentagon just outside of Washington, D.C. Even though 3,000 people died on that day, this tragedy is still unfolding. Health experts say that in the coming years, the number of people who die from 9/11 related diseases will surpass the number of people killed 18 years ago today. There are efforts to remember those first responders, police and firefighters and construction workers and paramedics who were exposed to toxic chemicals working on the rubble at the Pentagon and here near the World Trade Center. Just earlier this year, they dedicated a new memorial glade on the site of the 9/11 Museum in New York City, trying to commemorate, to remember all of the people who give their lives because they came down with these 9/11 related illnesses. It has been 18 years for some. The memories are still fresh. For others, they are distant. But as always, it is a day to pause, to think, to remember, and to reflect on where the country is going since that fateful day. In New York City, I'm Chris Pallone. Now back to you.
Chris, thank you. Also here at home, the Grosse Pointe War Memorial in Grosse Pointe Farms is also commemorating the 18th anniversary with a service of remembrance. There were several guest speakers this morning who all had a similar message, a message of unity and never forgetting the incredible sacrifices that were made 18 years ago.
Remind them, young and old, not to forget those who perished that day, not to forget their families, not to forget their children who've grown up with fathers and mothers who have been lost on that day.
There are several special ceremonies that are happening all across the Metro Detroit area, and our cameras are rolling at many of them. So stay with Local 4 for complete coverage throughout the day as we reflect and remember 9/11. You can also find much more on clickondetroit.com today as well. The other news we're following that is developing right now, an investigation underway after at least 2 people are killed in an airplane crash just outside of the Toledo airport. As you can see, fire erupted after this cargo plane carrying auto parts crashed on top of 2 unoccupied semi-trucks on the ground that were parked at a repair shop near the Toledo Express Airport. This all unfolded at about 3 o'clock this morning. Authorities say that there was no Mayday call from that plane. It was flying in Millington, Tennessee, and carrying auto parts. That's where the plane originated. Under pressure from the federal government, General Motors is recalling more than 3.4 million pickup trucks and SUVs to fix a brake problem. GM says that a pump in the power assist brakes can put out less vacuum power than needed, increasing stopping distance and the risk of a crash. The recall comes after the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration began investigating in November of last year. For the complete list of the impacted models, these are trucks and SUVs, you can head to clickondetroit.com. The information is under the recall page. Still to come here on your Wednesday, a severe storm caused some widespread damage in the thumb of Michigan. But was it a tornado? What weather experts are saying about it this noon. Also ahead, football player in the NFL Antonio Brown is accused of rape in a federal lawsuit. The surprising Michigan connection in this case.